Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. Today we're delving into a topic that has captivated global attention, the Israel-Hamas war. But before we unpack the intricate legal framework surrounding this conflict, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on our insightful discussions. Now let's embark on this journey together. As tensions escalate in the Israel-Hamas conflict, the world is watching intently. But what does international law say about this complex and sensitive situation? Join us as we peel back the layers of legal intricacies in this ongoing conflict. Overview. On October 7, the world was jolted by the heinous acts committed by Hamas against Israel, setting off a chain of events that have reverberated globally. The surprise attack on Israeli territory by Hamas militants not only resulted in loss of life, but also sparked intense scrutiny of Hamas's actions under international humanitarian law. This segment delves into the grim reality of Hamas's war crimes, which include the indiscriminate targeting of civilians and the violation of fundamental principles outlined in the Geneva Conventions. The implications of Hamas's actions extend beyond the immediate casualties and destruction. They raise profound questions about the adherence to international legal standards during the conflict. The deliberate targeting of civilian populations, including women and children, not only violates the basic tenets of humanity, but also undermines the credibility of Hamas as a legitimate actor on the global stage. As we navigate through the legal complexities of this conflict, it becomes increasingly evident that accountability for war crimes is essential for fostering lasting peace in the region. The international community's response to Hamas's war crimes sets a precedent for future conflicts and reinforces the imperative of upholding international humanitarian law. The atrocities committed by Hamas underscore the urgent need for accountability mechanisms to ensure that perpetrators are held accountable for their actions. Hamas's war crimes. As we venture further into the legal dimensions of the Israel-Hamas conflict, it's imperative to shine a spotlight on the grave nature of Hamas's war crimes. The deliberate targeting of Israeli civilians, including children, during the surprise attack on October 7 constitutes a blatant violation of international humanitarian law. These actions not only result in the loss of innocent lives, but also sow seeds of fear and uncertainty among civilian populations, exacerbating the already volatile situation in the region. Under international law, Hamas's actions are unequivocally condemned as war crimes. The Geneva Conventions, which outline principles for the protection of civilians during armed conflict, explicitly prohibit the targeting of non-combatants and civilian infrastructure. Moreover, the indiscriminate rocket attacks launched by Hamas pose a direct threat to civilian lives and violate fundamental principles of distinction and proportionality. As we delve deeper into the legal intricacies, it becomes evident that accountability for these egregious violations is paramount to ensuring justice for the victims and preventing future atrocities. The ramifications of Hamas's war crimes extend beyond the immediate casualties and destruction. They undermine the foundation of international law and erode the prospects for peace and stability in the region. The international community must stand united in condemning these actions and holding perpetrators accountable through legal channels. Legal debates. As we navigate the complexities of the Israel-Hamas conflict, we encounter a battleground not only on the physical front, but also within the realm of international law. One of the most contentious issues revolves around the application of international legal standards to non-state actors like Hamas. Legal scholars and governments engage in heated debates over the extent to which the laws of war bind groups like Hamas, and whether they can be held accountable for their actions under international humanitarian law. The legal landscape becomes further muddied by questions surrounding the legal obligations of states when engaging with non-state actors. The precedent set by past conflicts, such as the U.S. war on terrorism following 9/11 events, adds layers of complexity to this debate. The differing interpretations of international legal frameworks underscore the challenges in holding non-state actors accountable for their actions. Israel's self-defense. As Israel asserts its right to self-defense in response to Hamas attacks, the legal dimensions of this claim come under intense scrutiny. Article 51 of the UN Charter provides for the inherent right of self-defense, a principle deeply embedded in customary international law. However, the interpretation and application of this right in the context of asymmetric conflicts, such as the Israel-Hamas war, present complex challenges. Israel contends that its military actions are necessary to protect its citizens from imminent threats posed by Hamas's indiscriminate rocket attacks and incursions into Israeli territory. Yet questions arise regarding the proportionality and necessity of Israel's use of force, especially considering the high civilian toll in Gaza. As we delve deeper into the legal intricacies, it becomes apparent that striking a delicate balance between Israel's right to self-defense and the protection of civilian lives is imperative. The principles of distinction, proportionality, and military necessity, enshrined in international humanitarian law, must guide Israel's military operations in the Gaza Strip. Adhering to these legal principles not only safeguards civilian populations but also upholds the integrity of international law. Legal obligations for Israel. As Israel conducts its campaign against Hamas, it is crucial to examine the legal obligations it must adhere to under international humanitarian law. One fundamental principle is the prohibition against using starvation as a weapon of war, emphasizing the importance of ensuring access to essential resources for Gaza's civilian population. Additionally, Israel is obligated to exercise utmost caution to minimize civilian casualties and damage to civilian infrastructure during its military operations. This entails carefully targeting only Hamas militants and their military assets while avoiding harm to non-combatants in line with the principles of humanity, distinction, proportionality, and military necessity. Furthermore, Israel must facilitate the safe return of displaced civilians following the conflict as per international legal standards. While temporary evacuation may be justified for the safety of civilians during hostilities, permanent displacement would violate their rights. As global attention remains focused on the humanitarian plight of Palestinians in Gaza, Israel's adherence to these legal obligations will not only mitigate suffering, but also contribute to building trust and fostering prospects for a peaceful resolution to the conflict. Rescuing hostages. As Israel endeavors to rescue hostages held by Hamas, navigating the legal complexities surrounding this mission becomes paramount. The right to use force for hostage rescue operations is recognized under international law, provided specific criteria are met. With the seizure of hostages during the armed attack on October 7, the urgency of the situation becomes apparent. However, any use of force must be necessary, proportionate, and guided by the imperative of minimizing harm to innocent civilians. Israel faces the formidable challenge of balancing the imperative of rescuing hostages with the need to uphold its legal obligations under international humanitarian law. The legal intricacies surrounding hostage rescue operations underscore the delicate balance between military necessity and the protection of human rights. While the use of force may be justified in certain circumstances, it must be carefully calibrated to avoid exacerbating the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. Whew! That was quite a deep dive into the legal landscape of the Israel-Hamas conflict. If you found this analysis insightful, give a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments below. For more comprehensive discussions on global issues, be sure to subscribe and stay tuned. Until next time, keep questioning, keep learning. Goodbye.